Hi, my friends and family. It's me, and to celebrate nearly over 11 moons of broadcasting in this way for you, tonight I'm going to play a real old song I wrote a long time ago, and then my talk is called 2020 MF Mass Formation Psychosis Black Magic Ritual versus Buddhist Sorcery. I am one way. I consult you. You speak to my mind. Be okay. When it gets down to it, you get me up. Volcanoes stand still, mountains erupt. Every crisis is an opportunity. It'll be okay until we sing unity. Unity. So, 2020. Wow, I turned off the cool and now I feel it. 2020 Mass Formation Black Magic versus Buddhist Sorcery or siddhis. Well, in 2020, we all saw how the biggest scare tactics ever, all the black magic scare tactics were used in a century since the last time of the big epidemic. And whereby hundreds of thousands of black magicians, literally in the government and the Illuminati and other secret societies like the Council on Foreign Relations, also the CIA and all the other letter groups that were involved, etc. All many known black magic clubs and their reptilian and Anunnaki overlords orchestrated the most massive takeover attempt ever implemented on planet Earth, all based on, or at least around here, on Fauci funded, well, planetarily, on Fauci funded Wuhan gain of function flu bug, perhaps, using U.S. taxpayer money. Well, I'm recovering from a blood clot or something of that nature. It happened a month after I got the weaponized flu bug. So, fortunately, I'm taking my quercetin and it's really helping, finally. So, all of that led to the black magic witches creating the greatest mass formation psychosis ritual ever, destroying tens and hundreds of thousands of businesses. But studies shown even more than that have sprung back up since, but most of them were all entrepreneurial. Sort of like a black magic Hollywood lemming's death, walking off the cliff, all in mass formation. Pretty much the greatest mass formation and psychosis this planet has ever seen. Okay. they claimed that this was very altruistic. Well, I'm sorry, folks, but eventually humanity's going to have to face the fact that the dark side cannot be at all altruistic. I mean, if you just look at how the devil's always in most of nearly everyone's details, always twisting knobs to make things harder and more expensive. The dark side cannot be at all altruistic. They are forced and contracted, and more than you and I even, and only able to obey. They're only able to do fake good, like pharmaceuticals, because their reptilian and Anunnaki gods are fully only service to self, or often, the narcissistic psychopath, as I've said, is their archetypal form in modern human psychology. Well, in Buddhism, I was just thinking about the contrast between Buddhism and Babylonian Luciferianism. In Buddhism, we also heard about altruism, with one major, huge difference, one massive difference. Buddhist sorcery or magic can only work if the practitioner is 100% truly altruistic or the power is lost. So the legends say and studies have shown as well. Okay, and then also to contrast greatly, the black magic sorcerers attempt to steal everything. Buddhist magic is usually one individual helping one individual. Single individuals with a strong relationship to source. That's why I'm calling it sorcery, because they're actually using their faith in the real creator to their connection to the real creative source of the universe to do the work through their meditation, through their selflessness, actually. They're actually selfless, you could say, enough to be medically intuitive if they're very psychic, telepathic, able to remotely help or even save others, like remote viewing skills. Often through their belief in the old adage, no self, no problem. Okay, multidimensionality or levitation, these skills can all blossom through meditation. Okay. Later, my guess is my belief, I didn't hear about it in the ancient text. I believe the concept of the Bodhisattva was an insert of the last couple hundred years. However, it's a good idea. It's a beautiful concept that, some enlightened masters came back just to help us all become enlightened. However, I don't really believe it's accurate. It's a possibility. Okay, let's say I believe anything's possible, but yet, it's a beautiful idea, even though I believe it was an add-on. So, imagine that, like, you could be an enlightened master god who reincarnated just to live a normal life just to help others wake up. Is that possible? Could it be that the Salem witch trials, or as I've said in previous transmissions, probably at least 96%, or maybe one or two of them was a black magician, but all the other people they killed were on trials and killed, most of them just because they chose which beliefs they believed. Sorcery, this is why, people that felt haunted by Castaneda or haunted by the black witches trying to play shamanism, they don't use the word sorcery. With sorcery in Buddhist terms would have to be what you would call fully white or fully pure magic only. And so the stories have all said that all the enlightened masters who could do these type of powers, which are called siddhis, in other words, what we call ESP powers and psychic healings, the Buddhists call siddhis, and it would only be able to come through, again, if the individual was 100% altruistic and pure-hearted, or if they had a selfish intent, even for money or fame, it would disappear. The magic powers, so because all power comes from real, respectful creator and can only flow with real reverence. It's a tragedy. This woman that she died, she was really proud, and she slept on a bench, and I think she passed on during the atmospheric river. But she was 5 classes away from getting a degree in psychology, and she really taught me a lot. She said one time she told me that she knew a lot more Buddhists that were more. She knew, half dozen Buddhists who were more Christian than any of her Christian friends. Again, levitation, spontaneous healing, and all the other cities are only possible in their belief structure through true altruism. So it really is essential in any real magic, because I believe that the black magic or mind control or middleman or landlord middleman magic like Yahweh, Lucifer, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Illuminati could never really do real or beneficial wizardry, because they don't really care or love. So thus, care and love are the keys to real magic. Works. So anyone who tries to do, no matter how successful they are in the short term or long term, if they do it through blood drinking, or in my case through coercion to financial vampirism, or any such negative acts, the end result will always be, the saying, the end justifies the means, is not only is a silly misnomer or a Luciferic concept, it also is completely inaccurate of the description of the way energy works. Actually, the end is the means. The Ouroboros eats its own tail. The energy flows so that whatever I put out comes back to me. The energy itself works upon that principle. So the source always gives and receives all. So they try to take it out, but like I said, God is good, not dead. Christ never died. He's in my third eye and my heart. Christ is inside, no matter what. Satan can't steal it all, 'cause the shadows are too small, and the Christ is the only king of the snow. Unity. Unity, unity.